Hey, welcome back to Pete Plays. It's another Philosophy Friday, and today we're playing a game that I would not normally, hey, go away, that I would not normally play. Castlevania is probably one of the most challenging games on the Nintendo Entertainment System. It is just a really tough game, and I'm not like averse to tough games. Actually, the Castlevania franchise is one of my absolute favorite franchises in video games, and I think it's just fantastic. But I don't want to spend. Oh no! Oh no! I don't want to spend. I don't want to spend a bunch of time just getting my rear kicked by a game that I'm completely unprepared to defeat. So I thought it would be a really good candidate. That's part of the reason why I started the Philosophy Friday series. One, because I wanted to have a good time talking philosophy, but also because it would allow me to do some games that I wouldn't be able to sort of do runs of. Still have a lot of fun doing. So today I want to talk about we talked about Plato last time. I want to talk about Aristotle this time. Aristotle was a student of Plato, and oh man, that didn't help me at all. Aristotle was a student of Plato's and kind of continued some of the traditions that Plato sort of instantiated, but in many significant ways, he also kind of did his own thing. Can I make that? I don't think I can make that jump. Whee! Gotta go down. These guys go down. Oh, that's right. This one. Die, fishman! The shape of water, more like the shape of losing. Okay, gotta be careful, they'll knock you into the... There we go. Okay. He kind of continued a tradition, but also deviated from Plato's thoughts in several significant ways. But one of the things that Plato is most well known for is his theory of... Oh boy! His theory of... Oh boy. His theory of ethics, which is found in his text, the Nicomachean Ethics, probably his most well-known. In many ways, sort of his most popularly accessible. A lot of his metaphysics texts are really... Did that make me invulnerable? That's awesome. A lot of his metaphysics texts are just incredibly dense. What's that guy gonna do to me? Oh. Oh, it's a bat. Oh, man. Oh, crud monkeys. I'm not good at this! What is this? What does that do? Oh, that gives me more wing power. Oh, crud. Ah, I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna lose. I lost. Oh man, see now, so in Castlevania you gotta go back and you gotta get the whip and you gotta try again. Oh my gosh, I'm the worst. So the Nicomachean Ethics is sort of his text. He wrote it for it's called the Nicomachean Ethics because it's for someone named Nicomachus. Let's see if I can get him with the... and he wrote it basically to kind of say, like, look, hey, if you want to act in the right way, what are you doing here? Yeah, there we go, I beat it. If you want to act in the right way, you have to, if you want to become virtuous, you have to act in the right way. And there's a way to do that. And what he kind of sets forth is this idea that kind of gets known as like the golden mean. And the idea is that everything you do, you have to have a special kind of moderation. And basically what you need to do is know the right thing to do. You need to desire the right thing. And then you need to do the right thing. That's the way to be virtuous. So when we're talking about ethical theories, often when we talk about Aristotle, we talk about what's called virtue ethics. The idea is, what kind of person do I need to be in order to do the right thing? Not just anybody can do the right thing, right? Like, if you happen to just, oh, Medusa heads, man. If you happen to just sort of luck into doing the right thing, it's not virtuous. It's just, you kind of got lucky. And it's not bad that you did it, right? But, oh, no. I didn't know you could turn around. I don't know what that dude, was that good? Was that thing coming out? So there's sort of 5 modes, well, there's 4 asterisk modes of, Medusa heads are right! I just jumped on the ledge. Medusa heads! You can be virtuous, you can be incontinent, you can be continent, or you can be vicious. And sort of standing outside all of those things is what we call like beastliness. And that's sort of like the state of not being, like, having the possibility of virtue at all. So to start with beastliness, the idea is that, like, if you're drunk, or if you are asleep, or under the influence of some kind of drug or something like that, there's no possibility for you to be virtuous because, like, you're not in control of your actions. Okay, good. Wait for it. Jump! Oh! Right, so, like, in general, we do not ascribe morality to things that we don't think have the possibility of it. Like, if your dog does something bad, like if your dog pees on the carpet, you don't think the dog is, like, morally culpable, right? You tell the dog, like, hey, don't pee on the carpet, and you try to train the dog to not do that. And that's good, like, there's nothing wrong with that, but it would be silly for you to say something like, oh, my dog peed on the... shoot. My dog peed on the carpet, and that means that my dog is morally blameworthy, right? That seems silly. Now, there are some really fascinating essays and books on the idea of, like, animal morality, especially animals like dogs that spend so much time with humans, primates, dolphins, but in general, like, you don't blame a spider for biting. You're not like, oh, bad spider, the spider bit me, it's a bad person, right? Oh, no. I bet I could damage it. Oh, it's gone already. Okay. So that's beastliness, right? Oh, no, I wasn't out of the way! Oh, crud monkeys. Ah, that's the worst. So, beastliness, right? Sometimes people act in beastly ways because they're drunk, because they're under the influence of drugs. What is going on? Oh! Of course I want to continue, but I gotta start at the beginning of the level. So, Aristotle doesn't want to say that they're acting in a way that, like, admits to the possibility of virtue or vice. Like, that's not an ethical action that they're doing. They're just doing things. So, there's that. I'll start with incontinence. Incontinence is when, you know... you know the right thing to do. And you desire to not do the right thing, because it's hard to do the right thing. And then you end up not doing the right thing because your desire overcame your knowledge of what you knew to be the right thing to do. I learned this from Kent Dunnington, Dr. Kent Dunnington, a fantastic philosophy professor. And, oh, goodness. He used this cake example. And the cake example isn't perfect because it kind of doesn't get to the idea of, like I don't want to suspect that, I don't want to suspect, lead people to suspect that there's something like, Aristotle thinks there's something unvirtuous about, like, eating chocolate cake. But, jump, oh goodness. But imagine that you are on a diet, and you know that you shouldn't have a piece of chocolate cake for lunch, because that's not a good thing to eat for lunch, and because you packed a nice lunch, and there's vegetables, and there's delicious things in there that are very healthy for you. But you see the cake, and it looks really good, and you, instead of foregoing the cake, you eat it. So you knew that the right thing to do. I looked away for half a second to check my other screen, and a Medusa had punched me. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna remember that there's that turkey there. Ooh, delicioso! Okay. You were acting incontinently. Okay, goodness. Oh boy. No, I touched it once when it was on the way up. Oh my goodness. So that's incontinence. Okay. Whew. Incontinence. You know the right thing to do, but you desire the wrong thing, and then you did the wrong thing. Nice. I think that... I don't know what that means. I don't know what that does for me, to be completely honest with you. Okay, can I... Excuse me. Ugh. Okay, hate that. Oh no, I didn't touch that. What a weird hitbox. Okay, there we go. So the next is continence. Continence is, that's weird. You know the right thing to do. You desire to do the not right thing, but then you're like, no, I should do the right thing. And then you do the right thing. And that's good, right? Aristotle does not think that that's bad. He just doesn't think that that's virtue, right? He thinks that to be virtuous, I don't have a secondary weapon, and I have to fight this. Oh man, if I can get it to just... Oh, I was so close. Come on. Yes! Oh, that's good. Okay, I did it. Aristotle thinks most people are continent or incontinent. It's to be virtuous or vicious, even, to have vices, like to be the kind of person that is just full of vice, is extraordinary in the sense that it is out of the ordinary. Ooh. It's one of my favorite Castlevania tracks. So yeah, most of us are continent or incontinent. Some people are virtuous. And this stupid little... That's supposed to be like Igor or something. Now it is time to learn about the virtues and everybody was... Okay. If you're virtuous, you... oh man, he's throwing bones. He's a bone thrower. Oh, goodness. There we go. If you're virtuous, It's similar to continence, right? You know what the good thing is. You do the good thing, but the difference is that you desired the good thing. You didn't have to, like, overcome it. You did it as a result of habit. Ow. Rats! There we go. You did it as a result of habit. You didn't... It was almost unreflective, right? And not unreflective, I just fell off a cliff. Okay. And not unreflective... I have to go all the way back? That's the worst. It's not unreflective in the way of, like... Oh, I'm not... Like, I didn't think hard enough about this to be good at it or whatever. It's, like, unreflective in that you just did the right thing. I always think of, the scene in... Get away! Oh, no, he jumped! Did you guys see that? Look at that! He's climbing! He's climbing a stupid... Oh, I gotta get... This is why I don't play this game. There's a scene in Firefly where, Mal Reynolds and his crew have to do a heist. And, they find out that they had to steal... They had to steal medicine. That it was like a train heist to steal medicine. But they didn't know that it was medicine for this town of, like, people who really needed it. So what they did was, after they stole it, they got attacked by Igor. After they stole it, they found out that, oh, it's for all these sick people, and they return it. But they get found out, and the mayor of the town says to Mal, as he's returning it, he says, well, you know, there comes a time when a man has to choose. Like, when he finds out, you know, the right thing to do, he has to choose. He has a choice to make. And Mal says, no, I don't believe he does. And what Mal means by that is, I'm dead. No, good, I admit it. What Mal means by that is, I think that choice should be automatic and unreflective. There shouldn't be any desire to profit off of I'm dead. There shouldn't be any desire to profit off of the suffering of other people. That is why Mal, you could make a case for Mal Reynolds being a virtuous individual. Because of that event. Because he does the right thing in the right circumstances habitually. Because he desires to do the right thing. Nailed it! Didn't nail that. Some of these jumps are, like, really weird. Like, you gotta line up the pixels right to land on the edges. Speedruns of these games are nuts because the people just are... Okay, so that's Virtue. Now, Vice is a little different. The thing with Vice is, it's sort of a... I don't want to say a malfunction, but when you do Vice, it's not... Aristotle thinks, I don't know, I did the exact same thing I did last time. Aristotle thinks it's not because you're like, I'm a bad guy, and, you know, I want to do all the bad things. He thinks it's because you think you know what the good is, but you are mistaken. And that sort of mistaken idea about what the good is causes you to, like, miscalibrate all of your decision making. So in the way that, like, if you're drawing a line and you wanted to make a straight parallel line that, like, matches another line, and you start off just a little bit, you know, 10 inches later down the line, it'll be way off to the side. Like, when you have a bad foundation, it sort of skews the rest of the thing. Or like in a math problem. If you get one step wrong, even if you, like, in the beginning, even if you get the rest of the math problem right, like, in terms of doing the correct steps and all, oh, good. I'm invulnerable. There we go. You'll get the answer wrong. Let's see if I can get it with... Nice! So, that's the way it is, with Vice. there's just this wrong knowledge that messes everything up, and it makes you desire the wrong things, and it makes you do the wrong things. A possible pop culture example of this might be the Joker, if we are thinking about it in terms of sort of like normal, like good and evil. I actually argue in other places that I've written that the Joker is actually a sort of like anti-hero in the same way that Batman is an anti-hero. But for the purposes of this, I'll say that the Joker is like, he's got a wrong idea about what the virtuous thing to do is, right? He's not, oh boy. Nice. Ah! Okay, I have 1 hit left. I'm probably gonna get hit. Okay, good. Oh. Totally worth it. He has a wrong idea about what the good is, so of course he desires the wrong things and does the wrong things. What is this? Good. Get away from me, you raven. Dark wings, dark words, man. Oh, okay, well then. Whew. Time to go. I think, interestingly, Batman, if we're going with the whole sort of Batman universe, Batman probably isn't virtuous. He's probably continent. Oh man, I hate this. I want to jump. Oh, I did it! Okay. What is that? That's a tower? Some sort of tower? I don't... Oh, I hate Medusa Head so much. Oh. Why did that Medusa Head despawn? I had a checkpoint, but I think I'm out of lives anyway, so... What the deuce? Is that a glitch? I'm not really sure. What, I ate a delicious dinner! Why did that hurt me so much? I didn't check how much life I had. What was I saying? Oh, Batman. Probably continent. Yeah, just because he doesn't always desire the right thing. I'm not sure. I'm still working through that thesis. But basically, that's the idea. Those are the four kind of like modes that you can be in. Great, I'm gonna go back here with one. No, I'm not gonna go back there. I'm not gonna go back there at all. Yeah, I can do this. Those are the sort of four modes. And the central question of Aristotle is like, what kind of subject, what kind of person do I need to be if I'm going to actually do virtuous things? Because I can't just get it right because it happened to be right. I have to... Oh my goodness. I didn't get it correct. Oh, go away. There we go. I can't just luck into it. I have to do the right thing because I know it's right for the right reason. And that's an interesting way of doing... I hit it. I hit the fireball. Oh my goodness. This is the worst. I have to do it for the right reason. And I like that because it makes us think not just about it makes us think not just about what is the outcome of my actions, which is not unimportant, right? Like the outcome of your actions is something that you need to consider when you think about it. It's not just about your intentions, but it also thinks about what kind of person am I becoming if I do this thing over and over? Or what kind of person would I need to be in order to do that thing consistently? That's sort of like thinking of it from two different angles. Say there's something I want to be the kind of person who like stands up to bullies. Okay, what kinds of things do I need to habitually do to make that something that I can do when the time comes, right? I can't just expect to be virtuous when the moment like arrives and just go like, oh, I will choose to be virtuous now, because that's just not how like moral decisions like that work. It's really hard. Let's see if I can get it. Bang! Nice. It's really hard, and anyone who has ever been in like a situation where they felt threatened, or a situation where tensions were really high or conflict was escalating, will tell you that you can't rely on just going like, oh, I will choose to make the right decision now, because your body doesn't let you do that sometimes. Sometimes your sort of fight or flight instincts take over, and your body is just like, oh, I need to survive, and then you don't do what you know you should do. This is why soldiers or law enforcement officers or athletes, even in a less, in athletes it's sort of a less of a moral context, but it's like you don't want your body to be in, or you don't want your brain to be in charge of everything that you do, because what are you doing? He dive bombed me. You don't want your brain to be in charge of everything you do, because sometimes your brain will not do the thing that you want it to do. Like, you'll get scared, and you'll run away, or you'll sort of succumb to a temptation or a desire or something like that. So you kind of have to train yourself to do... No, I hit... There we go. So you sort of have to... Hope I hit a midway point. Yeah. So you sort of have to train yourself to, like, be moral. It's, like, morality takes training. Nope, I can't duck under him. Can't go under him, gotta go around him. This is gonna end just like the last time I was here. See, it's like once you hit that checkpoint and then you die, you don't have a chance to like power up enough, and you have no secondary weapon, and then these birds start doing their bird thing. That was an input problem. Also, I was not looking at the screen. Anyway, the idea is, think about what kind of person you need to be in order to do things. Whoa! He changed direct. He did. Alright, that doesn't help me even a little bit. Think about what kind of person you need to be in order to do something. Not just like, oh yeah, when the time comes, I'll be able to do that. What kind of person do I need to be to beat this level? I need to be someone who is good at this game. No, I hit that one. Oh man, this is why we can't have nice things, because the enemy hitboxes are bad, because the enemy projectile hitboxes are bad, because I'm bad at this game. Anyway, yeah, that's the idea of virtue ethics. Like, what kind of person do you have to be to do the right thing? And if you want to do the right thing, like, what sorts of things do you have to, like, cultivate in yourself in order to do them by habit, and to, like, desire to do them, and to do them so that you don't have to go like, okay, I want to do the right thing, and think really hard about it. That's just one way of thinking about ethics, though. There are like multiple different ways of doing that, and for some people, that's not the way. I would say that insofar as I am not an Aristotelian, my view of ethics sort of does follow that family of ideas, because I'm interested in, as a Foucauldian, I'm interested in like what kind of subject do I need to be in order to accomplish some certain activity or action or behavior. But we'll get to that maybe in a future Philosophy Friday. So hope you guys enjoy this. I'm certain that you didn't enjoy watching me just stumble over the same section of one stage of Castlevania, but I actually got farther than I have in any. Sometimes I'll just pick this up casually and be like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna play this game, and then I get like not even to the Medusa boss, and I'm just like, I hate this, and I get tired of it. So, I have been thinking about doing a run of Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest with a walkthrough aided, because that is another really difficult game that is just a slog. But it can be a little better if you kind of like have a map of what you want to do. So that could be fun. It's a game I want to play. I really like the Castlevania franchise. So if that sounds like something you guys want to see, let me know in comments. And I'll see you on the next episode of PETEPLAYS. Bye, guys.